Welcome to the WPS Military and Veterans Health webinar DD Form 2527, Possible Third-Party Liability. In this webinar, we will explain what third-party liability is, what the DD Form 2527 represents, and how you can complete the form and send it to TRICARE for Life in the Message Center. Go to TRICAREforyou.com and click on the Beneficiary Portal Card. For details on DD2527 and third-party liability, hover over Contact Us, then click on FAQs for Frequently Asked Questions. Once you are in the FAQs section, scroll down to locate the Third-Party Liability section. There are 11 frequently asked questions. We will not read the full answers for each of the questions, but in the next few slides we will show you the FAQs and read off abbreviated answers. What is third-party liability? A possible third-party liability occurs when someone else may have been responsible for your injury or illness. Why did I receive the DD2527 third-party liability form? When a medical provider submits a claim to TRICARE for Life, they must provide information like evaluation, diagnosis, and procedure codes. Some codes can indicate the potential of a third-party liability for an injury or illness. But I wasn't injured. Sometimes TRICARE for Life receives claims that include diagnosis codes that may or may not relate to an injury. A common example is when you have surgery and a medical complication developed. Even if my injury wasn't somebody else's fault? Yes, TRICARE for Life can typically understand the nature of the injury or illness, but we need your help to determine how it may have occurred. Why do I need to fill out the DD2527 third-party liability form? TRICARE for Life uses the DD2527 to determine whether someone else may be responsible and thus help the government recover money paid for your medical care. Can't I just call you and tell you? Unfortunately, no. Under TRICARE for Life claim processing requirements, we need a completed and signed DD Form 2527. Who can I contact if I have more questions about third-party liability? If you have other questions, you can contact TRICARE for Life customer service by phone at 1-866-773-0404, via live chat from within a registered user account, or by sending a webmail in the Secure Message Center. What if the patient is unable to complete the form? Who can complete the form on behalf of the patient? If the patient is unable to complete the form, there are a few people who may complete the form on their behalf. Those may be the patient's spouse, parent or guardian, responsible relative if the relationship is indicated, durable power of attorney, or executor of the patient's estate if the patient is deceased. This list is not all-inclusive. Please note, if you are the power of attorney or executor of the patient's estate, then in addition to the TPL form DD2527, you need to return accompanying documents showing you are the authorized representative for the patient, or those documents must already be on file with us. You do not need to send the POA or executor of the estate form every time. Once we have that noted in the file, that is sufficient. What will happen if I don't return the form? If you do not complete and return the form within 35 days, your medical claims will likely be denied. At that time, the provider may then bill you directly for services they provided. Okay, I understand how important it is to return the form. How do I complete the DD2527 third-party liability form? There are instructions on the form itself, as well as on TRICAREforyou.com's Forms page by the Download button. Make sure your answers cover the who, what, where, when, and how of the injury or illness. Also, make sure the form is signed by you or your authorized representative. Where do I send the DD2527 third-party liability form? The fastest method is to send it as an attachment to a secured webmail from the message center of your online user account. You can also mail or fax it directly to the TRICARE for Life third-party liability department. The third-party liability form is available on the TRICAREforyou.com portal. One way to get to the Forms section is to click on the I Want To tab in the upper right-hand corner, then on the Download a Form link. You can also get to the Forms section by hovering your pointer on the Contact Us tab, then select Forms from the drop-down menu. Scroll down the list of forms and click on the DD2527 Third-Party Liability link. Click the Download button to download the form to your computer. Then click the Open button on the window that appears. Some browsers may require an extra step to download the DD Form 2527. There should be a download arrow in the upper right corner of your browser. If that does not work, you can try using another browser. The TRICAREforyou.com portal is currently compatible with Edge, Chrome, Firefox, and Safari. Internet Explorer may work, however, it is no longer supported by the developer. Complete the third-party liability form and save to your computer to submit it online. In some cases, you may need to print out the form to sign it, then scan it back into your computer. If you wish to submit your form online, you will need to have the completed form saved to your computer's hard drive. The fastest way to submit the form is in a secure webmail sent from the message center of your registered user account. If you do not have an account, you can register a new account and then submit the form. You can also submit your form by mail or fax. The mailing address is TRICARE for Life, care of Third Party Liability, P.O. Box 7897, Madison, Wisconsin 53707-7897. The fax number is 608-221-7534. To submit the DD2527 through the Message Center, click the Create New Message button. The new message screen, as shown here, will appear. There is a General Instructions paragraph, but also a helpful link labeled These Easy Steps. These are helpful to have in case you encounter a problem trying to submit your inquiry. Let's look at the easy steps in completing a new message. When you click to create a new message, the form will launch with the email address from your profile preloaded into the form. Please be sure to verify and update your email address if necessary. Now, click on the Subject field or the drop-down chevron to select the general subject from the choices in the drop-down menu. Depending upon the subject, some selections will have a paperclip or Add a File function that allows you to submit attachments. Please note, you must already have your TPL DD Form 2527 document saved on your computer before you use the attachment button to search for it. Enter your first name and date of birth. These are required fields under HIPAA. Next, in the large rectangle, type in your message and add attachments if necessary. Once you are done, click Send. In just a few moments, you will receive an email thanking you for your inquiry and confirming the transmission to us. Please do not reply to this email. It is merely a notification. Once your message is received, the TRICARE for Life staff will open, review, and process your message. Your message may need to be rerouted to a different department. Once staff has replied, you will get an email notification that you have a webmail reply waiting. You must log into your user account and go into the Message Center to read the reply. This concludes our presentation. Thank you for watching. We hope you enjoyed this presentation and found it useful. This presentation will be added to the tutorial or webinar portions of our portal in a few days. Please follow and like our social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at the addresses provided. You can also follow by clicking the social media icons at the lower right-hand corner of our portal. We will now have a question and answer period. Please do not disclose any HIPAA-involved or protected health information, PHI, in this public webinar.